Good day and welcome to another episode of All Things Labor Law. And today we're going to talk about another topic. The last topic we spoke about was the inspectorate and inspectors. And now we're going to delve into a little bit more about CCMA commissioners. Now, I just want to give you a little bit of a background about the two institutions, the Department of Labor and the CCMA. The Department of Labor is the custodians of all labor laws, the Basic Conditions of Employment Act, the Labor Relations Act, um, the Employment Equity Act, UIF, COIDA, Occupational Injuries and Diseases Act, the Occupational Health and Safety Act. All those legislation, it falls under the ambit of the Department of Labor. Now, the CCMA is a Chapter 9 institution, and it also falls under the Department of Labor, but as a separate body. But the overarching department that it falls under, like I said, is the Department of Labor. But they have powers as well, and their powers is enshrined in the Labor Relations Act. So, what is the purpose of the CCMA? The purpose of the CCMA is to resolve disputes between parties. It's like one of their functions is, and the main mandate that they've been given is to resolve disputes between parties. When I say parties, I mean an employer and employee relationship. If a dispute has been entered into, they will facilitate that dispute and make a determination in terms of who is wrong and who is right. And the person that deals with that within the CCMA, who is a CCMA employee, is called a commissioner, a CCMA commissioner. A CCMA commissioner is ultimately there to resolve disputes. So, for the purposes of resolving disputes, the CCMA Commissioner has wide-ranging powers as well, much like a labor inspector, but is completely different to a labor inspector. And perhaps I'll make a video just to make a comparison and a correlation between a labor inspector and a CCMA commissioner. But for now, we will deal with just on a basic level what a CCMA commissioner is. I'll pretend that you know nothing about it, and I'll just give you the basic outline of what a CCMA commissioner is. And the CCMA commission powers is enshrined in Section 142 of the Labor Relations Act. Now, in order for a dispute to be resolved, there's a process at the CCMA whereby you have to go. If you lodge a dispute, the first process that will go take place is a conciliation process. And the conciliation process is an informal way to be able to resolve the dispute. And if the dispute cannot be resolved, then they escalate to the next phase, and the next phase is called an arbitration process. And the process of arbitration is enshrined in Section 138, but we're not going to deal with that right now. We're just going to focus on the powers of the inspectorate. So, the powers of the inspectorate is for the purpose of resolving the dispute, and it is assumed that the case is now already at the arbitration phase. That is where now the powers of the inspector of the CCMA commissioner comes in. It's very important for you to remember that. We're assuming that we are at the arbitration phase, we already tried to resolve the matter can't be resolved. Now, for the purpose of resolving the dispute, the powers of the commissioner is enshrined in that act to be able to, if he can't be able to do things, then the dispute cannot be resolved. That's why it's legislated in order for him to make his job a little bit easier. And some of the things that he can do is, in terms of Section 132, the CCMA Commissioner can um, subpoena witnesses to come to the arbitration proceedings and give testimony and answer questions on what transpired. As an example, in this dispute, he can subpoena a person who has any documents or books that needs to be to delve to the issue of the dispute, you can subpoena that person to bring the documents and bring uh, 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 the books in order for the case to be expedited, because sometimes there's stumbling blocks for a matter to be resolved, and that is where the CCMA's commissioners' powers come in handy. The CCMA commissioner can even allow an expert witness to come and testify to the whatever the nature of the dispute is, and that's also very important. Uh, so there's another thing that CCMA commissioner can do is he can go into any premises where the workplace is, where the workplace is, and perhaps the dispute is about things that happen on a production line. He can even go into the production line and see what transpired, and as the people are talking, make himself, you know, in, make himself immersed into the situation so he can be able to have a better, broader understanding to make a decision. Sometimes, in fact, always a decision that he is to make has consequences and implications. So it can go any way. It can go to the it can um, be on the employer side, or it can go to the employee side. So in order for him to be able to make a decision or determination, he will have to have all the facts to be able to do that. And what that is called is the inspectors is has the power to make an in loco inspection. So he can go to the premises, or if there's a scene of an accident, perhaps as to make an example, he can go to the scene of the accident and be able to let the people testify there on the scene and tell him what happened, so that he can be able to have a broader picture of what transpired. You know, the arbitration award is final and binding. Whatever the commissioner decides, that's also one of the powers of the commissioner. He makes a decision, and that decision is binding. If you want to review that arbitration award, you will have to go to the labor court to review the arbitration award. And the labor court judge is the only person that will be able to um, set that arbitration award aside and maybe declare it null and void, or whatever the case may be. And all these things, at the end of the day, the powers of the CCMA commissioner is for the purposes of resolving a dispute. So once he has all the information, he invoked his powers in terms of Section 142, he will make a determination, and that is now called an arbitration award. And remember, an arbitration award is final and binding, and it puts the dispute to rest. That is where people have recourse now for if you as an example, if you follow all the internal dispute resolution mechanisms in your company, there's a policy in the company which allows you to um, um, fill in a grievance form, and the grievance process is being concluded, and it's still not in your favor, and you feel that it's not fair, then you take your resolve externally, because you have tried to ventilate the matter internally, it can't be resolved. Go to the CCMA, and that is where the commissioner will come in. He has the power to facilitate dispute, and that's why they have a two-pronged approach of conciliation, without going to the formal process, see whether there's a misunderstanding and just resolve the matter and enter into a settlement agreement, and that will be the end of the dispute, and the dispute is disposed of. It won't go any further. But if it's not resolved, it goes to the next step, which is escalated to a arbitration. And I've explained a little bit about an arbitration. You can go on to one of my videos, and it will be able to, and you will get all the details there. Thank you very much. Please like and subscribe to my channel, All Things Labor Law on YouTube and All Things Labor Law on Facebook. Thank you very much. See you. Catch you guys in the next one.